I got hers and she got mine. We turned it face up, and she had seen hers in Colorado. I saw mine in Florida, and sure enough, it was the same thing. We had drawn.
See?
Yeah, and Jules, we're actually talking about funny things that happen like at church, strange
At
things
church?
that happen at a Mormon church. And go
Okay.
ahead and
But
mute
I
yourself.
understand because of the name of the show, Encounters of the
Okay.
Mormon
Yeah, strange.
Encounters of the Third Kind.
Oh, it's strange things at the church. I have too many to list, actually.
Do tell. Do tell.
So Jules, go back out and come back in and see if your sound gets better.
Okay. Let's see. Let me.
Okay.
Okay.
I
That was
thought
one
that
hell of
people might
feedback.
misinterpret that title.
That was her air conditioning, just like we have the same problem here sometimes, my air conditioning.
Yeah, I wonder if she has either headphones or what do you call the things that go in your ears?
Earbuds.
Earbuds.
Earbuds? Okay.
Yeah, try earbuds. I'm gonna put you on mute until
Go for it.
Yeah.
And so there was one other sort of lighthearted story I can share real quick, and I'll bring on Ryan Silver real quick to say hi. But you know, in the sports program, you'd have non-members as part of your teams. There could only be a certain amount of non-members, and they had to go to sacrament meeting once a month in order to still qualify to play. So we had the neighborhood legend on our team, and he was the guy that was like never ever would be a Mormon. He was like had sex with all the girls that he could have. He swore all the time. He was like the Fonz in a way of the neighborhood. We go to church and we were in the overflow, so the back doors can open, and then we're sitting on just hard chairs, and we're just trying to be as quiet as possible. They're passing the sacrament. Everybody's doing their best to pass us to be quiet. And this 3-year-old kid, this boy, lets out the loudest echoey fart on his wooden chair, fold-up chair, in the cultural hall with all the echoes. And our friend just couldn't help but he just busted out laughing. It was the funniest thing he ever saw in real life. And so, hi Ryan, how you doing?
Good. How are you doing?
Good.
Been a little while.
Ryan is a famous TikToker.
Not so much. I haven't even been on there lately at all.
A formerly famous TikToker.
I get on there and rant and rave sometimes. That's about it. I'm looking at the church actually right across from my house where they tore the steeple down. That was a TikTok I made. Yeah, they're redoing the roof and stuff, but they tore the steeple down, like the one that was actually detached from the building. So I don't know exactly what's going on with that.
Wow.
Maybe
Kinda
it wasn't high enough.
That's exactly what I said in my TikTok.
Oh, is it?
Yeah,
It
but wasn't
wasn't
as erect as it wanted to be.
Are people going for temple stones? Are they going for that?
I don't think so. It's an old like 70s church style where it would just be like brick on the side of your house, basically.
Gotcha. So in Provo, the temple right next to my ward, the really unique like birthday cake one, they tore that down, and they were having issues with people like jumping the fence and trying to get like steel temple stones. Like the police were out there, and like there's like a few people in Ward Radio that were coordinating like back in the day, because I talked about it, a bunch of other people talked about it, like let's go get some temple rocks, and like everyone's like hopping the fence to like, you know. So
there's kidney stones and tonsil stones and now temple stones.
Temple rocks. Yeah, I personally don't get the hype behind it, but I guess there's other people that aren't that.
President Nelson start that fad? Didn't he kind of tear the Salt Lake Temple to pieces to get his piece of granite for his headstone?
Yeah.
Somebody started it somewhere, so now it's a thing.
When the church puts new furniture in the temples. They burn it all. They
Mhm.
burn their carpet. They destroy everything that was in there, so nobody can use it for repurpose it. So it's just a waste, and so they don't
When
want
you
people
say
to get
nobody, you mean new name Noah.
new name. Okay, new name Noah. Or when they don't want anyone to have anything to do with the temple. So when they went to go temple stones, they don't want anybody to have a piece of that thing.
That's right. It's really difficult to pass a temple stone, let me tell you.
Yeah, it's really hard.
I want one of those freaking oxen. Actually, I want two of them, one on each side of my door.
Thought you were going to say one humping the other one.
That I guess that's kind of an interesting story. You mentioned that it was my great grandpa's silver, because my last name's Silver. It's the Silver Brothers company that made those oxen back in the day.
Oh
So
wow.
Really?
yeah, it's pretty neat. And then my grandpa moved to Ogden area and started the Ogden Iron Works, but that kind of went bankrupt as soon as when he passed away when I was young. So, but yeah, it's kind of cool history. We all got cool history, but I just wanted to share a quick story. I have a couple,
Oh,
but I had.
just a second, Ryan.
Oh, go
I
ahead.
just have to say, for your relatives that had the oxen factory,
Mhm.
they could probably work on Sunday and say it's okay. The ox is in the mire. But go ahead.
Oh, geez, here
I
we
do.
go.
Ooh.
I knew there was one coming from him.
Oh, goodness. Okay, so I shared a couple just in the chat, but being is when I was younger, we would get the keys to the basketball court late at on the weekends, and late at night we kind of go down in the basement and where the broiler was and try to find tunnels and shimmy through access little tunnels for pipes, trying to because I live next door to junior high too, and everybody said, sorry, it's getting windy out here. I don't know if you guys are hearing that, but there was a rumor that it went all the way to the junior high. So yeah, we couldn't find it. But anyway, the one I wanted to share was actually my mom's that she told me, and it's nothing like horrible, but it was just kind of concerning. So she plays the organ and piano, and sometimes she would go over and practice early in the morning when no one's there, like on Saturday. And she had a dream that she was in there by herself, and a bunch of guys in black trench coats came in and like shot up the place. So after that, she never like wanted to go to the inside the church by herself. I'm like, it's not a very comforting place to, you know, be scared of. But anyway, that wasn't super crazy, but I just thought it was a really strange.
That's
Maybe
weird.
it's telling her to get the hell out of there.
I don't think that's crazy at all because churches scare the hell out of me. I would
Yeah.
rather walk through an old funeral home from the front door to the back door alone in the dark than go into an LDS church. I don't know what it is, but they creep me out.
Well, when
Be
I
in a
used to
church
go
alone.
there to do stuff on the computer, there was always something, a presence I felt, or something would happen. I'd hear a noise and wonder what it was. So I get it,
See?
Randy.
Yeah, they're scary ass.
They're
Yes.
scary. Yeah, I remember getting freaked out even walking through the chapel because sometimes you had to walk to the chapel and go.
Because that's where the casket always sits when they have funerals, and that's all I could think of when I was younger, in the priest quorum and stuff. If I had to go into the church alone, I don't know why I did, but there were a couple of times where me and my friend had to go in and lock up for the bishop. It just scares. Yeah. By the way, funeral homes are scary ass too. Don't get me wrong. But churches are the ultimate scary to me.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yep. It's creepy stuff. That's for sure.
Yeah.
But
So-
anyway, that was my quick story. Nothing too crazy.
Thanks,
But I
Ryan,
thought
for coming
thought it
on.
was relatable, I guess.
It is
Yeah.
relatable.
Yes, sir.
Ryan talks about playing basketball late at night with the keys at the church, and we used to do that as well. I think
Yeah.
we went on like Christmas Eve and New Year's Eve and all kinds of times because nobody cared about it back then. Now there's all kinds of like you have to do like thumbprint and a scan and permission
a
to
key
get
fob
in, key
and all
fob
sorts of
Scanner.
and all that stuff. So-
Double tithing. You pay a little extra
Re-
and they'll slip you the keys for a basketball game.
Retina scan and eye scan, retina scan and hand scan.
Right.
Blood test.
So we
Right.
have Zion's Redemption Radio Network joining the chat, and it's nice to see a new person in the chat. And so if you're
I knew.
if you would like to be interviewed, Randy and I would like to interview you for Ladder Daily Digest. Just click on the somehow you can get a hold of us. I'm Gene Judson. Randy's Randy Watts, and we do the whole Mormon spectrum. If it's faithful or not, we don't really care. We like creators, and so let us know if you want to come in on that.
He's been here 5 minutes and already is trying
I
to
know.
get an interview.
It's not like I'm hurting for shows. Natasha Helper's coming this week. We interviewed Natasha Helper.
You need to get Julie Hanks too soon.
I've already interviewed Julia Hanks.
Again, you need to get her again now that she's left the church.
Okay. Jules, I think that your fan is causing the echo.
My causing my noise.
Yeah, so I wonder if you turn off the fan just for a second and say.
Okay, let me go turn it off. But my
There's
AC
also
may come on.
feedback.
Yeah, because I'm wondering if the feedback is caused because of the fan being on there.
No, the feedback caused from the way.
That got a lot better, but
That got a lot better,
it's
but
still.
So
Okay.
Jules,
Feedback.
before you sweat to death, go ahead and tell us some fantastic story of something interesting that happened in church.
Oh, I won't sweat to death. That was earlier. Actually, I thought of a pretty good one, and it was brought up in like a testimony meeting because they did the youth program one time. Someone went to film it, and it was in the chapel, obviously, and they say you shouldn't film in the chapel. And this was one of my best friend's wife, and then when she went to play it at home, there was nothing on camera. So,
What?
yeah. The whole
How
recording.
richly bizarre.
Yeah.
Was he sure that the camera was working and recording?
Yeah, it was recording fine. They tested it afterwards and everything, even beforehand.
See, that's ghost shit right there.
No shit.
Hey, Diamond Dave, do you have any tips, since you're the youngest person here, on how to help Jules with the echo and feedback? What settings to do? Thanks,
it
Ryan,
could be
for
a-
coming on.
It could be a
Thanks,
variety
Ryan.
of things. It could be multiple cameras. I'm hearing an echo.
Yeah.
There's
You're
an
hearing it?
echo.
Because I've got my mic set up here, an external mic, and I kind of moved.
I just clicked echo cancellation. We'll
That's
see if that
good.
works. Yeah, so
That
I just
worked.
clicked echo cancellation, and that seemed
Oh.
to be better.
Perfect.
That fixed it.
All right.
Although I did kind of like to hear my own voice, to
Yeah.
hear what I sound like.
So echo cancellation would be what on the settings?
So yeah, so in the three dots next to your name, if you click on that, you can see the settings. It has a couple other settings too, but it's working so far.
Okay.
It works good now.
Yeah. It seems like it got fixed.
Okay. Sounds good. Now you guys are lucky it wasn't when my dog was barking earlier. He was having some doubts about the stream, I think. His name is Thomas.
Brother Jones. Where in the world are you right now, Brother Jones?
For the time being, I'm at home,
Mm.
Oh, nice.
but not for long. Yeah. Anyway, how you guys doing? I'm sorry I'm late, but I had
You're fine.
stuff to do.
We got the audience warmed up for you, so
Yeah. Well,
fire when you're ready.
all right. Well, I was talking to Tim the other day, and I said, he told me the subject of tonight's gathering, and I thought immediately I had an interesting story. about a church disciplinary council. Again, I will be somewhat discreet because I don't want to reveal anybody's names or anything. This is more than 20 years ago. In my locale, and in my positions at the time, positions with an S, I sat on four disciplinary councils. And if I remember right, 2 were to excommunicate somebody and 2 were to end church discipline. And the funny thing is, back then, a disciplinary council to end church discipline was still called a disciplinary council. Okay. So anyway, I was tasked with actually delivering the letter to this person. And I remember briefly the conversation, and he was kind of, well, I wouldn't say he was surprised, but I delivered the letter from the window of my car on a busy street in this metropolis, right? He came out, I handed it to him. And in fact, I remember it took me 2 hours to get home after delivering this letter. And literally, it's like less than a mile from home. Again, this is about 22, 23 years ago, something like that. Well,
Why
anyway,
did it take so long?
Traffic, just bad traffic. It was bad time of day.
Gotcha.
It was not a smart thing. Anyway, I had learned a few days earlier, surprisingly, that this person had been excommunicated, probably a year or 2 before. I don't know when. And I was actually quite kind of shocked to hear this news, because this person in my locale was a bit of a celebrity. Like everybody in the church would have known of him here. But he then left the country, was gone for several years, and he was coming back to do business. But I kind of think, anyway, I don't want to speculate too much. Anyway, the gist of my story is that when the disciplinary council was held, I want to preface this by all 4 of these councils that I sat on, not a single one of them followed the normal protocol, which I learned about later. Like this 6 on one side, 6 on the other side, that never happened, not a single time. Basically, the stake president just asked for comments from everybody, and then they went in and made a decision. That's how it happened. There was never like defending 6, prosecuting or whatever. That never happened. In fact, I never even read about that. But anyway, in this particular case, the gentleman comes in. I've given it away as a man. Naturally, I mean, like 95% of them are men, right? And fortunately, this was mostly done in English because he's not from this country. And I was a little bit surprised at the time that all of the people in this meeting knew this person, like knew him probably very well. However, as far as I know, none of them knew what he had done to be excommunicated. Nobody knew. In fact, I'm not sure that I knew at the time. I might have known. I think the stake president let it slip to me, something like that, what had caused his excommunication, which was back, we'll just say it was back in America, was what happened. So he comes in, it's kind of a cry fest. He bears his testimony. He's got his quad on his knee. And there was really no discussion. It was like, I really want to be in the church, blah, blah, blah. And that was it. There was no discussion. Not a single word was said during this meeting, which might have lasted 30 minutes. I don't remember. But not a single word was ever said about what caused him to be excommunicated. And we were supposed to be like there deciding, should we end his excommunication? Should we readmit him back into the church? And I remember asking a friend back in the States. Back at the time, this person was on the stake presidency, in a stake presidency. I said, you know, when somebody's having their discipline end, do they not like discuss what happened to decide if he's ready? And he says, well, he says, it seems to me that how could you decide if somebody should be readmitted if you don't even discuss what happened? But that's exactly what happened where I was. And of course, he was readmitted, and then he flew to even another country and was rebaptized probably within a week or two. I don't really know. But anyway, it was one of those very strange experiences in the church where I thought, you know, in some locations, they're just making it up. They're just making it up. In some locations, local leaders really do have full control or full say of what exactly goes on, because there's a lot of stuff that's just like swept under the rug and like, just ignore it, don't worry about it, and just go on with your life, which honestly might be how it should be anyway. So that's my story, and I'll leave it at that.
Thank you.
Wait, time out. Did you ever find out what it was that he did?
I did find out. I'm trying to remember if I found out before or after. And frankly, it was pretty surprising. It was pretty surprising. It was not apostasy. Yeah, let's just say that this man held some secrets in his life that very few people know about. And I'll just say that. Yeah. But clearly, it was something he would have been excommunicated for in America. In Thailand, he probably would have been excommunicated. Yeah. Let me just put it this way: there was another council held, and I've told this privately to a few friends. This story, where I was translating for some foreigners on the council. And the guy telling his story about what he did, I was like really reaching deep to be like polite about what he was telling happened. I mean, it involved like prostitutes and stuff like that, and it was like I was like learning words I'd never heard, right? And anyway, everything's okay now with him anyway. But yeah, I had some very strange experiences on the High Council 20 years ago that might have been some early shelf items. In fact, I'll add this since we can tag this as an Elder Oaks story. I was a executive secretary in a stake presidency, and Elder Oaks came to visit Thailand right before he left the Philippines. If some of you may remember that Elder Oaks went to the Philippines for 2 years, Elder Holland went to Chile for 2 years. Nobody knew what they were doing there. Okay, we know now that they were closing dozens and dozens of stakes because it was all just a chaos. Anyway, he came to a stake presidency meeting, so it's like I'm not even sure all the counselors could make it that night. I can't even remember. And I remember him telling the stake presidency how good his stake was doing. Like, you've got a really good stake and things are going well here. I was like dumbfounded. I was like, if this is like a stake running well, I would not want to see what it's like a stake that's not running well. Of course, at the time, I had no idea that he was in the Philippines cleaning up a huge mess.
Wow.
Anyway, that was, I remember thinking to myself, how could this stake be like a good little stake running in? I was just like, whoa.
Everything's relative.
By the way, he was like an hour late to the meeting because of traffic. So anyway, that's my story for now. I've kept it anonymous enough.
There you go.
So what are you saying, Brother Jones? We're going to go to bed tonight. I'm going to go to bed tonight, and I'm going to be thinking, what in the hell did that guy do? What did he do? Because if Tim can tell us about the gerbils, now I'm thinking maybe he was
It's worse
one of
than
the
gerbils.
guys that was showing off his gerbils. But
Maybe it
hey,
puts gerbils to shame.
We can discuss it in the after show.
Exactly. There you go. After show.
We'll keep it anonymous until then in the after show, because we don't want to throw any aspersions on these people, because they may see this someday and they know about it. So,
Right.
We'll talk about
I
that.
mean, yeah, there's no reason to out this person. I mean,
no,
there's really not.
They-
But
they
I will
repented
say-
and they're back in the church. So,
right, I will simply say that for a
like
team,
the way-
for a true believer, when you learn of somebody high in the church or somebody you had high respect for, you learn of like horrifying things. Like, how is that possible? You realize that, you know, it's like everybody has a dark side. Everybody has a secret life,
well,
to some degree or another.
yes, it's
Period.
like when I taught many years ago when I was investigating fundamentalists, I talked to Rhea Coons. She was a very famous fundamentalist woman, female, and she'd been married, fundamentalist, polygamous wife 2 or 3 times. She was at Shark Creek when it got raided. She went through that whole experience. She shared it with me. And she told me, and this is at the time, she lived in Draper, that she knew of 30 men who were still in the church who were practicing polygamy in the Salt Lake Valley. Because everybody basically comes to Rhea to get hooked up with one of the groups who do the ceremony for them. But she says she knew of at least 30, and this is like 80-45 time frame, that she knew of at least 30 men. And some of them she claimed were general authorities. And I don't doubt her at all.
Yeah, you know, on that thread, Tim, I don't know if you talked earlier at all about the recent Mormon Stories interview of this Laurel Hell.
No, not yet. I got to listen to
Okay.
that still.
Well, we discussed it behind on our private call, but that story was extremely interesting to me because I'm also from California, and to learn that there are like secret polygamists in this wealthy suburban like tech community, Los Gatos, California. I mean, like, it just blows my mind that this kind of stuff can go on at these levels of the church. Now, remember, what did Holland say the Strengthening Church Members Committee was actually for? Remember what he said?
I don't
Primarily
remember.
to protect against polygamy. Okay.
Right.
Which maybe means there's a bigger problem than we all know. Okay. And they've managed to keep this quiet for decades.
That wouldn't surprise me at all if that was the case. And not even just from like the polygamy from a Mormon angle. I used to work in banking. I hear a lot about parties that happen in corporate banking. Parties. And yeah, so if that's happening outside of the church, like these exclusive adult parties, swingers clubs in banking or in finance or in marketing or in sales teams, again, it's happening in the church. It's happening in the church.
big love, baby, big love.
Probably more so. Probably more so.
Well, we talked about the possibility of the house up the canyon that the general authorities use for sex parties that may or may not be real. But there's a video out there about Gordon Hinckley talking about it on YouTube.
Give us the address of that sex party house.
P. Diddy Canyon.
You don't
I'll
have to be
have to
precise.
Find it.
Well-
I'll put it in.
Well, isn't there polyamory now too that they say?
Probably.
Yeah,
Polyamory's,
I'm into soft Mormonism.
yeah.
Gene's
So
jokes.
Drace
Oh my god.
Schneider wants to know what the topic is. Randy, you want to filter what I said the topic is?
Gerbils.
The topic is strange encounters you've had with people in the church or during sacrament meetings or testimony meetings or on a mission or just in passing, crazy ass experiences that you may have had that is somehow connected to the church. What's harder to think of
I
is
have another one. This will interest you guys. This just happened about 2 months ago. Yeah, about 2 months ago. I ran into a guy on the street. I'm out on a walk. I'm walking home, and I run into this guy who had just gotten to Bangkok a week, like 3 or 4 days before. He's taking photographs. He's like loving it. He's like, man, this is so awesome. I love it. I love it. So he walks with me about 10 minutes, and we stop and we start talking, and I'm like filling him in. He's from Oregon. And he said, I just sold everything at home, and I think he said, I don't know if he went through a divorce, I can't remember, but he said, I'm moving to Asia. I just said, I'm leaving America behind or whatever. Comes to Asia. So I literally am talking there with him. We're having this great conversation. We exchange numbers on his phone, and we make an appointment for the next morning to meet up. Oh, and during this conversation, he says, like, what brought you over here? And I kind of shake my head and say, well, long time ago, I came over here as a missionary, for the LDS Church. And he was like, really? He's like, I was a member too. He went on a mission. In fact, he went, I forget where he went. So we had this like great connection. He's a couple of years older than me. And we agreed to meet up the next morning not far away. And I was going to just fill him in more on like how to get around and just do stuff in this part of the country. Totally ghost me. Would not respond to my calls, would not respond to my texts, never heard from him again. And I thought to myself, how do you have faith in humanity when you have this great conversation, make an appointment, and he doesn't even show up? I don't understand. I totally don't understand it.
Let me clarify it for you, Brother Jones. I received revelation. Let me just put my wash rag on my head here.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
That was one of the 3 Nephites.
Okay.
And he was just testing you to see if you would talk about your mission.
Okay.
I knew it.
I've got my seer stone.
Yep.
Okay. I put a link to Gene. I put a link to that video in the Facebook chat, so you can put it in the YouTube chat and people can go see it.
What video, Tim?
About Gordon B. Hinckley and his secret life.
Oh. I'm like, I thought you had Brother Jones's encounter with that guy on video. It's like,
No.
No. Could be a ghost. Is the guy even alive?
could be.
Do we know?
Who?
Like, I've
That
had
he's-
one.
wait,
I've
which-
had one
which guy?
instance like that. Oh, the guy Brother Jones was talking about, and I got to ask because I've had one situation, only one in my
Well-
whole life, where that's ever happened. Because I thought someone ghosted me. Turns out he got shot, and that's why I never heard from him again. Was because he was shot
Wow.
and killed.
He literally
That's what I'm like.
ghosted
Is he
you.
still alive? Like, did he get hit by a bus? Like, who knows?
We were literally going to meet up 12 hours later at the market, and never heard from him again. And we had this great conversation. Like, he was totally happy to meet me, and it just disappeared. Strange.
That's kind of wild.
Little spooky. Yep. I know that Gene thinks he's being sneaky, but he's going to get seconds on his beef stew.
Gene, I put the link to that video about Hinckley in our Facebook chat, so you can put it in the YouTube chat.
You know,
I'll go check it out.
I was talking about my first visit to the ward in Memphis, Tennessee. and how weird the fast and testimony meeting was. This just occurred to me when my family and I, because we were in an extremely poor ward, and I was doing okay at the time. I was managing the Peabody Hotel there in Memphis, Tennessee. And so my family and I, we went to present ourselves to the ward for the first time. And meeting us at the door was this guy named Malcolm, just a really tall, lanky, sweet African American kid. I guess he was in his mid-teens, maybe later teens. And he stuck his hand out. And when he stuck his hand out like this, I knew that I could tell that he was neurodivergent, that there was something going on, you know. And I said, "Hi, I'm Randy, and this is my family." And he's like, "Hi, where's your car?" And I said, "I'm sorry, what's your name?" He said, "Malcolm, where's your car?" And I said, "Well, it's that car you see over there, the pickup truck." He's like, "Oh, okay." And we went on in. As the bishop came up to greet us after the meeting, he said, "Did Malcolm greet you when you got here?" And I said, "Yeah, what a sweet kid." He said, "Yeah, did he ask about your car?" And I said, "Yes." Well, we found out that Malcolm, his favorite thing to do while everyone was in sacrament meeting, especially on Fast Sunday, but I don't think he realized, that it was Fast Sunday, but he would go through all the cars and see if anyone had prepared food for their classes. And then he'd
Oh,
just eat it. He'd eat it all. He'd eat, if there was a big plate of cupcakes, he'd sit there and eat all of them. So we decided we'd start having a little baking project before each meeting on Sunday, except for Fast Sunday. We probably did Fast Sunday too, but we always left some cupcakes in our car so that he could break in, and we'd always find these crumbs laying all over. And I'd say to him, "Malcolm, did you eat those refreshments in my truck?" He'd say, "Yeah."
oh boy.
Anyway, that's fun. That's fun. That was a fun story.
Well, at least he didn't just take the lick out of it and leave it there for you.
Right?
Give you a lesson in, being clean.
Every ward needs a Malcolm. Yeah, he was just
I
a
don't
pure
know.
soul. But
I don't think
I
so.
don't know about that. I don't know if every ward needs someone breaking into cars. Like that's,
well,
No.
but he didn't know. He didn't know that what he was doing was wrong.
Yes, he did. He knew what he was doing.
yeah, there's like
Well, did
breaking
you
into
catch the
someone's
part
car.
about? Now, don't make me defend Malcolm. Did you catch the part about him being neurodivergent? He was.
I'm neurodivergent too, but if I was breaking into your car, I'm pretty sure you'd arrest me. You were a cop, right?
Oh, okay, yeah, but let's get this straight. It's not like he had a blackjack that he was going in, popping locks with, or prying with a knife to unlock it. He would just check to see if they were locked or unlocked.
That's like the guy who didn't like me in the singles ward and would push the mirrors of my Rabbit in. Every Sunday I'd come out to my car and this guy would push the mirrors of my Rabbit in, the outside mirrors. He'd push them in. And I said, "Who's doing this? Do you know who's doing it?" And they told me he did it. And I said, "Why do you do that?" "Because I'm jealous of you." I said, "Why are you jealous of me?" "Because all the girls are going out with." And I said, "You can ask them too." Oh, that's another story. Oh, I forgot about this. There was this guy named Charlie Sakai. He was the librarian at the Air Force Academy Library. And nobody would date him. And he got up in Fast and Testimony meeting berating the women to date him. They need to date him. He was really going after the women for not wanting to date him. And I got up right afterwards, and I said something. You don't have the place to do it. And the bishop branch president got up right after me and says, "I agree with what Brother Rathbone. That's just not the place or the time. We want you all to forget about what he says. Just push it away." Yeah, that was a wild one.
Yeah, that was probably a good way to score chicks, is get up in sacrament meeting and complain about it.
Yeah. I'll never forget. I forgot.
Another one I saw was the grandmother that got up and was saying how her grandson had been made fun of by the young men because he tended to be more feminine, and like she got up and gave a lecture during fasting testimony to the whole ward, and saying that if he ended up committing suicide because like his father had, that it was going to be on us. And it was just, it was a long testimony that they had to pull her down from the stand.
Thanks, Grandma.
So there was a story that similar to the same group of boys that did these 7-Up in the Sacrament Cups. Apparently the Sunday school president was like 6'8", and back in the day we would have Sunday school opening exercises, right? So These boys knew that this tall Sunday school president was going to be conducting that day, and we would have a podium that would electrically rise and
right.
Mm-hmm.
And people who raise it up,
as
just
the bishop,
assume that it's going to stop at some point. So there's these pegs that they took out, they removed it. So whoever was the counselor was like making the podium go up. It kept on going, and then it fell off.
We had one where the belt broke. They were leaning on the podium, and the belt broke, and it went down. The opposite of. Oh, brother.
So
has something ever struck you funny in sacrament meeting, and you couldn't stop laughing? My best friend and I were up to bless the sacrament, and there's 3 of us up there, and we were all 3 best friends. And he took the bread when it was his turn to take a piece, and he leaned over and he says, "Do you have any mayonnaise I can spread on this?" And I don't know what it was about that, but I could not hold back the laughter. And I was, that belly laughing when you can't even breathe. And I was leaned over as far as I could. And we're up in front of the world, but I'm leaned over like I'm crying or something, but I cannot breathe. And no matter how hard I tried to think of something, because it was my turn coming up to bless the water, and I'm like, there's just no way I can say this blessing. So I poked my third friend. I said, "You're going to have to do this, buddy." I just could not do it. And it took everything I had not to belly laugh out loud during the sacrament. And that's the worst time,
And that was
during the
that was
sacrament.
before you covenanted to not participate in loud laughter.
Right? Yeah.
See, now I'll never forget the time that my friend couldn't say the sacrament prayer. I had already blessed the bread. It was his turn for the water, and he couldn't do it. And I turned around and I looked at the bishop, and I said, "What do I do?" He says, "You do it." That was kind of sad. But
he couldn't do it because he was too nervous, or what? Why couldn't he do it?
I don't know what was going on with him at the time. Something emotionally, or we've been friends for years. I don't know what happened. It was in sacrament meeting. I remember that. But then we had the other problem. See, in Westwood Ward, the chapel on Ohio Avenue has a balcony, and the Osmonds lived in Westwood Ward. They lived right by the chapel. Their parents had bought these apartment buildings on Manning and near Manning in Ohio. And we had a balcony, and the little teeny boppers would fill that balcony for months at a time, looking for the Osmonds. And the Osmonds would usually go to UCLA branch or another branch they'd ward hop because they knew that people were looking for them. And we'd always worry about running out of bread and water for the sacrament, and which happened a couple of times because they filled the balcony.
And they'd say, shoot, Donnie and Marie aren't here, but there's Tim Rathbone down there.
Yeah, right. Oh man, it was a mess.
I
remember that.
there was an instance one time in San Diego at our ward, 23 blessings of the bread before
What?
they got it right.
Wow.
Yeah.
The bishop let that happen.
Well, he said that he let it happen once. He said at a certain point, now they would start cutting it off,
Well,
But
we
he's
Like
had
over
guys.
these 23 attempts, he got all the words right. If you just figure it out.
We
And then
had
sacrament
guys.
meeting was over.
We had guys when I was in Colorado Springs in the singles ward. We had guys who worked for Carson who couldn't read and they couldn't read very well, and we had that happen once, and we asked him never to do it again because he couldn't. Took like 15 minutes to just read the sacrament prayer. It's embarrassing, So yeah.
Well, it makes time fly, though, and it's less time listening to talks.
Now I'm trying to figure out in the conversation, they're talking about a guy named Tim in the chat. Are they talking about me, or who are you guys talking about?
I don't know.
It's probably
Songs come
you.
on and straighten Tim out.
Yeah,
Tuesdays
come on, Kinder.
with
Kimber
Blank.
songs. Come on and tell us what's going on.
I think they're just saying Tim just to get your attention.
The guy pushing in your rabbit ears. Who are they talking about? Anyway.
Every ward needs somebody like Tim, right, Randy?
Well, going back to what Brother Jones was saying about the court, the church doesn't follow its own rules when it comes to courts. I mean, there was this people that sued the church. They don't announce the church used to publish excommunications in the church newspaper, in the church news. And then they stopped doing that. And then they would announce it in the ward during priesthood meeting. And then they stopped doing that. And then they'd only do it during general stake priesthood meeting. And then they stopped doing that. And even when I was the ward clerk or exec sec, and we had some excommunications. I knew that this guy had been excommunicated, who everybody looked up to. He was poking other women in the ward. He was responsible for the welfare, and to make sure the women got welfare, he gave them a little nookie, and these were women whose husbands were gone during the week. It was really a messed up thing. But
Joseph Smith like.
Joseph Smith like, exactly. And when he was excommunicated, they wouldn't say anything. And I had to ask the bishop, okay, was so-and-so excommunicated? Well, I really can't say. I'm not supposed to say. I says, the church has become that strict. Yeah, but when I was excommunicated, they called my wife and told her before I did.
And
Well,
Tim,
it's
when
like-
you were a kid in the late 1800s, the church was printed in the Deseret News.
That's right. The excommunications were printed in the Deseret News. That's right. That's right.
Well, some 8-year-old boy is a street crier screaming
Oh.
Tim has been excommunicated.
Okay, you're talking about the guy who pushed the mirrors in on my car. Okay, all right, I get it now. Thank you, Kinder Kim. Anyway,
Tim's not like the church. He's not 20 years behind, just 20 minutes behind.
well, I couldn't figure out what they were talking about.
Well,
were
you know
talking
what's
about-
weird is when I was a deacon, they would frequently release the Aaronic priesthood and request that the Melchizedek priesthood stay in the chapel. And that's how we knew that someone had been excommunicated, because they would announce who was excommunicated, and then before they could come back into the church, they had to bear their testimony and apologize to the ward and ask for their forgiveness. So now it's all secretive and stuff.
Yeah, they don't do that at all anymore. Yeah. Yeah, like I said, they're not supposed to tell people, but yet they called my wife, my ex-wife, and told her before I did. She knew before.
But did they tell her gleefully? That's what I want to know.
I don't know. But they weren't supposed to, but they did anyway. You know, it's like, I said, you guys don't even follow the rules that it says. And by the way, with the 6-4 and the 6 against in the excommunication, that's the Doctrine and Covenants where it talks about church courts. That 6 are for and 6 are against the guy.
Right.
So on this note, maybe some of you have taken the time to listen to the 5.5 hours of RFM going through the story of, I believe his name's David Wright.
David, I knew David at BYU. Yeah.
Okay.
David P. Wright.
That
David P. Wright.
that presentation is well worth the listen. I'd actually like to get the transcript of his diary. He shows exactly the problem with, I mean, I'm telling you, what we're dealing with right now, what we've experienced right now, it really began, I would say, in probably the early 90s. Okay.
No. It began in the 50s when Lynn Packer did a video on this about how they wanted to go, part of the Quorum of the 12 wanted to teach the real history and not just doctrine, but history and keep it scholarly. And the other half, like the Packer half, wanted to teach only faithful stuff.
Right.
And he talks about that.
What this David Wright clearly, I mean, he writes extremely well, very clearly.
Yes.
He explains his thought process through all of this. And it is absolutely clear that from his experience, free thinking is not allowed, period.
No.
I shouldn't say that. Free thinking and speaking what you think is not allowed.
Someone wants to know my shirt. I'll have you know when I visited Brother Jones, or whatever the hell his name is. Well, I went to Thailand to visit him. We're going to find out his name pretty soon. But anyhow, so I got this for $3. It's got some nice elephants on it. Can you read any of that? What does that stand for, Brother Jones?
Yeah, it says Chang Beverages. Chang is a major brand over here, which Chang means elephant, but it's like a primarily a beer brand.
And this is
So
soccer
you're
team?
advertising. No, they sponsor probably many soccer teams, international. They're a big company, Chang. Yeah, big company, conglomerate.
Seems legit.
So this kind of a pregnant pause we have going here, but
Maybe that means we can conclude.
I
After show. Is that what
oh
we're
yeah,
going
yeah.
for? Are we gunning for the after show?
You're all waiting for the after show.
I'm all about that after show.
So what we're going to say?
I'm sorry. I am just giving a secret message to Gene.
Are you
Real
all
quick.
liberals? I'm not even American for that much longer.
we're liberal thinkers.
You're thinking of relinquishing Diamond Dave? You're going to relinquish?
We want
I kind of want to rescind U.S. citizenship. I haven't made any official decisions. I'm kind of leaning that way.
Give it some time.
Yeah,
Speaking of
I'm letting it
private-
sit.
Make sure you can become a citizen there before you give up.
I'm a dual citizen of England.
Oh, okay. Oh, that's
So, I mean, like, in theory, like, if I wanted to and, like, pushed it, I could and I wouldn't be stateless because I already have citizenship.
Brother
Yeah.
Brother Jones, I found his diary online. It's under the Mormon Alliance website. I'll send you the link.
Please do.
Okay.
Nah. I'm in Mongolia, so England is worse than the USA. I don't know. I think the entire West is dog shit, so
I agree with you right now.
I'm fine with being in Mongolia.
I have no opinion about any other country other than the United States and Bangkok, because those are the only two countries I've been in. I don't. Not that I don't pay attention to other things.
The United States was the best country in the world until a few months ago. Well, not even that. It's been going down for years, but yeah.
Yeah, I was considering dual citizenship with Mexico because my family is all from Mexico. So
The only country I ever thought was good was in the movie The Mouse That Roared with
Fenwick.
Fenwick, yeah, Grand Fenwick. I was the only cool country I ever thought. Speaking of pregnant pauses, though, there's one last story that I'll tell. Is sacrament meetings when I was a kid used to be at the end of the afternoon, right? We had already been to priesthood at 8 in the morning, and then we went to 11 o'clock Sunday school, and then around 4 o'clock we'd come back for sacrament meeting, and it was such a long day already. And high council Sundays would just go on and on and on. And
yes.
This one really nice guy. His name was Archie Briggs. He fought in World War II, lost an arm, so he'd always have his arm sort of jacket tucked in to his coat somehow, maybe pinned in there or whatever. And he's given this talk about something. It could have been polygamy for all I know, but it was going on and on and on. And then he was flipping pages, and he was like, "Oh, I'm lost." And then he spent like 5 minutes, a combination of looking and saying some things here and there in between pages, and then he just had to wrap it up, almost like if there was the curl cane that takes somebody off the stage.
All those.
Yeah, that's almost like that could have happened, but anyway, that was a pregnant pause that, just like Satan, it was like I understand, like when the Niagara Falls once stopped because of an ice flow situation, and people at like 3 a.m, and people that lived there got out of bed because the silence was deafening, because they were used to just the roar of the falls, and when it stopped, that like shook them out of bed because there was silence. So it's kind of a weird. That was like that for that meeting.
Okay, I'm going to do a shout out. Everybody go see Superman. I saw it this afternoon, and it's great.
That's a story about me?
Yes, it's a story about you, Gene.
I saw it. I did not like it one bit. I did not like it. There's my opposing opinion. All opposed, I oppose.
Okay.
What are we opposing
Did
or
you
supporting?
stay to the very end of after the credits rolled and everything?
I did not.
Aha! You have to stay to the very, very end, right to the last credit, when the last credit rolls and there's a second ending that really ties it all up.
What movie are we talking about?
Superman, the new Superman movie.
Oh. Hi, Michelle.
I wanted to
now-
say
Hi, Michelle.
hi. I wanted to say hi, and I just wanted to mention. So when Gene put up his turd polish, which I think is really weird, but anyway, I think the last time he came back to our he came back to our bedroom where I was painting and listening to you guys.
Aw.
And he came back and kissed me and gave me a squeeze and and said hi. So he doesn't always go get food, but sometimes he does. So anyway, I just thought I'd say hi and let you guys know that once in a while, yeah.
That was a funny church
You know-
story. The Church of Tim.
Yeah.
You're so much better to look at, Michelle, than Gene. So
Yes.
that juxtaposition right there just confirms it.
Turd polish is an improvement. Is that what you're saying?
I think you should
Blessed
change
be
it
the fruit.
personally, but-
Kinder Kim says hi.
May the Lord
Tom
open.
said Hi.
Hello. And hey, if you haven't watched Jules' interview, I really
Yeah.
enjoyed it. So go
Watch
listen
Jules.
to
Thank you.
Yeah,
that. Yeah. Hi,
yeah.
Jules. I
Watch
haven't met
Joe's
you yet.
interview.
Anyway,
Yeah,
so I
thank
just
you,
had to pop
Jules.
in.
Yay.
Anyway, so you guys have fun. See you later. Bye,
He loved
everybody.
your-
Bye.
He loved
Love
the
you.
beef stew, by the way.
Oh, yeah.
I did.
Yeah, it
We
tasted
worked on
really
it together.
good.
We made it together. So
I could smell it all the way here in Bakersfield.
no, there's nothing like beef stew. All right, you guys.
It was a nice hearty winter meal that we made in the middle of summer. Because it's actually been,
Excellent.
or in the Bay Area, it's only been like 70, 75, 69, almost
Yeah.
every day. Just a couple of 80-degree days.
It's
That's
over
San Diego.
100 here. It's wet in San Diego.
Oh, yeah, that's year round weather, 70s. Yeah.
It was 100. It was 100 a while ago, and now it's down to 91. It was 102 today when I was out.
See, I'm in Albuquerque right now, and we've been in the 90s midday.
Ah,
We're at 82 right now.
This is just a boastful thing, but my son, I was shocked to see a picture of him on the red carpet of the new Superman movie. Because
wow.
Warner Brothers had invited him to, to walk the red carpet and put him in,
To a
he was in
screening.
costume and everything. Yeah, it was fun. He doesn't
Cool.
brag about that stuff to me, so I have to discover it accidentally and say, "What are you doing on the red carpet?"
Wow.
But the bragging part was that it was 71 today in Spokane, Washington.
Wow.
September 22nd, I'll be in San Diego permanently now. So,
Yeah, you moving?
yep, moving. Got the job offer today.
Cool.
Oh, nice. What are you
Congratulations.
going to be doing, Jules?
I'm still going to be a nurse with the VA. So,
Oh, yeah,
Okay.
that's right. You're a nurse.
yeah, medical specialties. So it'll be like cardiology and multiple different specialties. I have like
Wow.
several job offers sitting over there. There's two that they gave me today. And if the surgical comes along, I don't know. I may take that one.
Oh, that sounds like interesting. I was going to say fun, but interesting.
Yeah, they said it would be critical care, which is my, I know about like the back of my hand.
Wow.
Critical care is my thing. 13 years ER. So,
Wow. Wow.
seen the Lazarus effect.
That's really awesome that you have job opportunities lined up.
Yeah.
I know good nurses are in high demand. And
Very
thank you
high demand.
songs.
Yes. Yeah. Nurses are in high. My sister is a nurse, my youngest sister. So yeah, I appreciate nurses. Well, every time I go to the hospital, I tell the nurses how much I appreciate that.
Well, I appreciate them.
Yeah, me too. They make everything happen. They know more than the doctor sometimes.
I appreciate them
Thank you, Kinder King.
unless they hurt me.
Last time I went to go see my doctor, the nurse and I were talking about that. She says, I can't tell you this, but okay, give me the skinny. And she did. And I went, all right. So now I know what's going to happen. She says, I looked at your test. Okay. And don't tell them I told you that. Okay.
The thing nurses, you have to stay, you can tell the patient kind of a vague explanation, but you also have to be an advocate for your patient. That's the big thing about nursing. You're an advocate for them. Because sometimes you see
one
the
of you
doc
was
wrong,
one of you was saying that every
and
don't you hate that when everyone don't you hate that when you start talking at the same time and so you pause? Someone was saying that everyone has a dark side, and I know that I've got several of them, but my phone number is 1 digit off from the Mayo Clinic in Scottsdale, Arizona. 1 digit, and it's right next to the real digit. So multiple times a day I get wrong numbers thinking it's the Mayo Clinic. I can't tell you how tempted I am. It's the urology department. How tempted I am when they call up and say, yeah, I'm just calling about Roger Steinfeld's test to see how he's doing. Or, I always want to say, are you sitting down? Because I've got some bad news. but I haven't brought myself to do that yet.
It makes me think of Airplane, though. Remember when they're at the Mayo Clinic and it's got all the Mayo cans and jars in the background?
Yeah.
They're going to say, this is not the Mayo Clinic, it's the Mayonnaise Clinic. Eating up on them.
Oh, brother.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay, so we're only hanging around just because of Brother Jones now. We're waiting to say goodbye to everybody.
I think so.
Okay. I don't know if MB or Kim or Songs or anybody else is going to join us.
We'll give them a few minutes. They can join us for the after show.
Yeah.
And look,
it's a real party. It's a real party. You should join in.
If you think this is a party, just wait for the after show.
That's when the party gets rough.
MB is here in the 505 with me. I haven't met her.
Really?
Yeah.
The 505.
You want to pop in and give some crazy Mormon stories? Anything that happens in
on your mission or in the church?
On your mission or at a sacrament meeting. I'll try.
Gene MB is asking for the link.
Oh.
One last time, everybody cut and paste.
You do. You can. You're the only one that can do it. We can't do it.
Yeah, it takes a little while for it to appear.
There's the link. MB.
I always want to say that. The link is in the comments.
That's right.
Comment in the links. Comment the link in the links. And the links and the links.
The link is down below.
Down there. Somewhere in the.
Right over
it's buried. It's buried.
Yeah, I think it's over there for me.
No, it's Well, you're
Latter
on the
Daily
center.
Digest.
On the center. Well, not the. Anyway. Whatever.
Grace 505 is the area code here in Albuquerque.
Oh, really?
Yeah. It's called one of my mods is asking what 505 stood for. What was it? Levi's jeans but yeah, 505 is our area code. It's also called ABQ.
Okay,
is that why the salsa?
Wow,
the
people don't
salsa?
do that People don't do that anymore with letters. Wow.
Yeah, and once you've lived here for a while, you're considered a Burqueño. It's just what they call it.
Porqueño. Like a
Yeah,
So
Puerto Riqueño from Puerto
there's a
Rico.
505 and 575.
yeah, 505 and 575, but it's mainly the 505,
Yeah.
and it's also known for a lot of people always ask about what was it, the TV show film here, Breaking Bad.
Breaking Bad.
Hmm. Netflix
And
Studios.
the salsa. 505
And also, yeah.
salsa.
Well, see,
Netflix-
here everything's about green or red. What color chili pepper do you want to eat? Do you want green or
Right.
you want red, or do you want Christmas?
Well, if there was a different color of salsa, that would be a little funky. Just saying.
Yeah.
I'm gonna bounce. Actually, it's almost
All right.
noon, and I have not been to bed yet.
Go
So,
to sleep.
Oh, geez.
I'm
Go
going to
hug
bed.
that beautiful wife of yours. And give her a
We
kiss.
miss-
Will do.
We missed you
Will
last
do.
week, Diamond. We're glad
Yeah,
you came
I'll
this
try and drop by as I can. Busy,
Okay.
you know how it goes. Deuces.
So
Right
Yeah.
on.
that's all for people that want to join the after show.
And our minor league baseball team, the Isotopes.
Oh, cool.
week. Oh, well. I love
It
me a
makes
good
sense.
isotope.
Well, didn't we do the Manhattan Project here in out in
Alamogordo.
Alamogordo? Yeah. So the Isotopes is actually
Cool.
part of. It was actually a Simpsons episode that came up with that.
Wow.
Yeah.
Kimberly, you only want to be on for the after show, right? Okay.
I guess so. I don't know. All right. Let's say goodbye and good night. And
Good night, everybody. Thanks
look
for
for
Love
watching.
y'all.
next week
Mean it.
for more thrills and
Maybe Megan
spills and
will
adventures.
hop on for the after show. I don't know.
We'll have to
But
do this again for Megan since it was her suggestion.
we'll just have her take an hour and a half and touch all the stuff that's happened in her life.
Right on. Right on.
The
yes.
Megan show.
The Megan
Right.
Show.
Everyone
All right.
have
Bye,
a
y'all.
great rest of
Great
2025.
rest of evening. Good
subscribe.
night.
Any
Go
of you
see
are going to-
Superman. Oh, and go see F1 also. F1 is really good. I really enjoyed F1. Anyway.
Let it die, Tim.
Oh, and there's one more movie, but it's I can't remember what it's called, but anyway, I'll let it die.
And but you can come in. I won't add you until.
Yeah, we won't add you until we're done. So
And Jacques,
10,
do you need me to
9,
send it to you
8.
on Facebook?
7,
Yeah.
6, 5, 4, 3,
Everybody
2.
wave bye.
1.